You're listening to the Fast Intentions Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nathan and Todd.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fast Intentions, the final episode of 2023. How crazy.
Woo!
We started this bad boy in 2021, right? It's been like 2 years. So
Feels like it.
I think it's been 2 years, but
Nice.
not all the listeners got to hear all the episodes, though.
No.
The creepy hidden ones that are probably really bad that we wouldn't want people to hear anyways.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm your host, Nathan. And as always, I'm alongside my co-host, who happens to be my father. And his name is Todd.
Hello, everyone. We hope you had a nice Christmas and was able to enjoy your family and friends, and you got some good stuff, and nobody got any coal.
Yeah, I got everything you wanted, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So here we are, sitting in my room at 8:45 on December 27th, as we record.
And on the Fast Intentions monitors is a hockey game. The Pittsburgh Penguins, our beloved Pittsburgh Penguins, the only team that Nathan and I actually agree on, are currently beating the New York Islanders 6-0 with 12 minutes to go in the third period.
Well, besides Nebraska, too. But
Well, yes.
Professional.
Speaking.
There you go.
All right. Well, it's episode number 35, Nathan. So what does that preclude us to?
Not guessing. Naming the famous players who we're going to
There you
dedicate
are.
this episode
Yeah,
to.
There you go.
Sorry, I was looking up the fantasy basketball we were just talking about.
Oh,
He had like 4 guys that scored 60 points.
sweet.
So that's
Doof Troop offered me a trade again. So reject.
You also have 7 more games than me. That's great. All right, anyways. You have some written down, though, don't you? Because I didn't write down the ones you said.
I only had a couple, and then your list was way better than mine. But my first one is the Nigerian Nightmare running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Christian Okoye.
Oh, baby.
And I also had Arizona defensive back, All-Pro Hall of Famer, Aeneas Williams. He was one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL for several years.
Sorry for the random pause. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
And then throwback Husker Rick Burns. Big old Rick Burns from Nebraska. Was a Nebraska running back. Solid player, not flashy, not fast, but just a good, solid back, and very dependable for the Big Red there for several years in the 70s, late 70s.
All right. Sorry, I like to confirm these numbers because, as we talked about, I just write them down, and you'll make fun of me because I had Yogi Berra on here because he wore 35 for like 1.5 a year. And so they have him listed on here.
Yeah, but his number's retired for the Yankees. He was number 8.
Okay.
So,
Well, we had Shaq on like 5 lists.
well, it's because you insisted on doing that.
That's because he's a good player, but...
Well, let's get to your list of actual 35s.
All right, buddy. All right, I got Kevin Durant,
That's a good one.
even though he won that mostly with Golden State and Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn and Phoenix, he's 7. So Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander, yes, with most of his career with the Tigers, but has finished up the last several with the Astros.
He's most with the Tigers. And then Frank Thomas.
Big Hurt.
And I like that because Joe Morgan wore 8 most of the time.
Yeah.
He wore 35 at one point. And then unless you want to talk about Gaylord Perry, who's on here. That's a hockey guy. So let's just stick with those ones.
Okay.
So what were you thinking?
I'd say it'd probably be between Kevin Durant and Frank Thomas.
Not Verlander?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, Verlander would be pretty good, I guess. I just don't like those Astros.
Oh, well, just think of Detroit Verlander.
And Kevin Durant's been chasing a championship. He's been jumping from team to team. Let's go with the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas.
Okay.
Because
I'll let you have it.
they'll like it too.
Well, I chose last week, so you can have it this week.
Yeah, he does his Nugenics commercials now.
I think I would have chose Kevin Durant,
Well,
but that's
probably.
okay. You can choose. You're just happy because you got to talk to his wife at the Field of Dreams.
We did. I forgot about that. Yes, I did.
He got a big smile on his face when I said that.
Well, I forgot about that. I talked to her and a couple of his sons. So, yeah.
you did.
She had the biggest rock on her hand I've ever seen. Looked like Gibraltar.
She had the biggest rack you've ever seen, too.
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, anyways. Well, because this is the end of 2023, my dad came up with the idea. How about we talk about the top 10 sports stories of 2023.
Original idea. Nobody's ever done it before.
No one has. So we'll just do a little recap. So the plan was to have we have our own top 10s and then we discuss it. But then we decided, well, let's just have our own top 10 and discuss it. But then we realized we don't really necessarily agree on some of the things. So we have a universal top 10 and we have some honorable mentions. Mm-hmm. And we have them in order. You may not agree. I don't agree. He doesn't agree with everything, but we just kind of threw it together. So the ranking's not too serious. Let's just say that. So, but anyways, these are the top 10s.
My rankings are serious. I put a lot of time and effort into these.
I think some of them are out of order, but these are the top 10 stories to us. But the order doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I would say.
And we'll start from 10 and work up. And I will introduce the even numbers, and Nathan will introduce the odd numbers.
Because I'm an oddball.
So, number 10, Tom Brady retires from the NFL again. All-time most successful quarterback in the NFL. Some call him the GOAT. Very successful in the postseason, winning 7 Super Bowls. A feat that I don't think ever will be matched, and if it is, it'll be long after we're both gone. And I remember he did the announcement. It looked like he was on a beach somewhere in front of like an apartment complex, and then there was a thing online where somebody had found the spot where he retired and collected a bunch of sand from that spot, and the guy was selling the sand on eBay. So
good stuff.
But yeah, and he's I think he's comfortable with his career and where he's at now, and I don't see him coming back. And so far, he's resisted the urge to get into the broadcast booth. So,
well, he's got a shit ton of money waiting for him when he does.
Well, if he wants to. So that's story number 10.
Cool. Do you think you said he's the GOAT to some people? Is he not your GOAT?
Well, realistically, yeah. I despise Tom Brady because he caused me a lot of heartache and havoc through my fandom, but. Yeah, in part, if I looked at it impartially, yeah, he's, you got to say he is the GOAT.
Do you think he's the most talented quarterback ever?
No, not physically. I mean, you got people like Randall Cunningham and people like that, but I think he's probably had the best head on his shoulders, and he could think the game really well and was able to see the field and, find. But, he had some pretty good players he played with over the years, Randy Moss, and some really good running backs and what have you. And, of course, you have the combination of him and Belichick. It would be hard to beat. So, and it was hard to beat. So,
yeah.
The Penguins just scored again, 7-0.
There you go. So. Well, I would agree with your sentiment.
All right.
So, number 9 on the list, in no order.
No order. It is in order.
Well, like I said, beg to differ. I agree with most of this. There's a couple things I disagree with. Aaron Rodgers is the story. I included this one. I got this forced in the top 10. I
agreed.
Aaron Rodgers, a lot of drama over the years about he didn't like Jordan Love getting drafted, blah, blah, blah. I want more help in free agency, whatever. And he finally decided he wanted to be a New York Jet, and he got traded. So, finally, the Jets got their franchise quarterback. This was the year. They had that great defense. They're super young. This was their chance to make a postseason run. And then 4 plays into his Jets career, he tears his Achilles, and he's out for the year. Well, technically, he had a chance to come back, but since they're eliminated, he's not going to come back.
Well, the Jets are too shitty for him to bother.
Exactly. So, Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, leaving the place he thought he'd retire, going to a struggling franchise, being a beacon of hope, and then just somehow, like a storybook, 4 plays in, he just goes down, is out for the year. That Jets misery comes right back. It's like they had before the NFL season started, they had the ads about the script writers, like they're at the round table discussing things. If you saw that with like Keegan-Michael Key, those were kind of funny commercials. But it was literally like the NFL wrote it, like Goodell wrote it, and Rodgers would probably come back, and the Jets would probably win the Super Bowl next year. Just knowing how stuff works, so it's very eventful.
Well, I've seen many videos online lately talking about how they believe the NFL is scripted, and a lot of it has to do with the color of the Super Bowl logos. And they say that's a dead giveaway for who's supposed to participate. So, yeah. But apparently the logo's color has been changed. There's an alternate option this year. So right now it looks like it's going to be the Chiefs and the Cowboys according to the logo. So we will see.
Well, sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Okay, number 8. I have Lionel Messi signing with Inter Miami of the MLS through 2025. Now, co-owner David Beckham described it as a dream come true. And the great thing is, he came to America. He had a chance to join the Saudi-backed league, which many of his fellow players and countrymen did. So basically, he turned down millions and millions of dollars to come play here in the States. He's in his 30s, a little bit older, but still very productive. He scored a goal in every game he played for the first 6 games, I think it was. Just made a great impact on the city of Miami and the league itself. So just had a big effect on one sport, one person coming over here. So that was my story number 8.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to look good compared to all the United States people playing. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, about the hoopla. Even I saw a bunch of soccer stuff on my timeline. And I don't know if you remember on Instagram, they had like a post where like Inter Miami had like 800,000 followers, and then when he signed, it went up to like 13 million or whatever. Like just a crazy number in a day because Messi signed. So that's a lot of eyes on the product.
And there's a lot of pictures and drawings and billboards of him popped up all over Miami, and the pink jersey 10 was very prevalent.
Yeah.
So
I also like him better with short hair than long hair.
Okay.
If you remember long hair Messi. He looked kind of messy with that hair. I wanted to eye roll out of him. Number 7, John Morant. Young star in the league.
2 guns.
Yes. Showed a gun once, got in trouble. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think he just got fined. And then he was on an IG live stream on his friends, and he showed a gun again. So
Instagram.
Yeah. IG live. I think is what I said. I don't know. But anyways, he was showing his gun, flexing it, looking all cool. Well, you can't really do that. You're not a good role model for the kids when you're showing your gun off. So he got suspended 25 games. So it was kind of a sad situation to see because John Morant's such a good player. And he always talks about mental health, how he felt like he didn't need counseling and stuff. And then he kind of got into a rough spot. So now he's back. The Grizzlies are really struggling. They're like 0-8 to start the year. And I don't think they've lost a game since he's come back. So that's very good to see. Hopefully he just got the counseling and stuff he needed, and now he's back ready to continue his career because he's such a good player. And he's definitely going to be the face of Memphis for years and years to come. So
yeah, hopefully he takes it serious and abides by the rules of the NBA. And like you said, yeah, he's the face of that franchise, and hopefully he can lead them to a playoff berth. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to win, but just to get them in the playoffs will give that town some excitement and help build for their future. So
yeah, they've been the 2 seed the last few years. So
yeah,
and then I don't know, it may be kind of too late, but you never know.
You don't.
And good thing for him, he's super young, like I said. Draymond's a little too old. I don't know if that counseling is going to help him because now he's gone for a while. So that was number 7.
All right. Number 6, we have 2 first-time winners in their respective sports. Texas Rangers defeat the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the first ever World Series in the MLB. And also we have the Denver Nuggets win their first ever NBA championship. Always great for these cities to have a champion. It brings in a lot of commerce and just gets the fan base excited and just, keeps those teams going. And I think a new champion is always good for a league. I mean, fans of other teams might not agree because, some people like dynasties. But to me, I always like to see somebody new out there and winning. And I think it makes the leagues better as a whole. So props to the Rangers. Like I said, our friend Glenn called that over the summer. And they had started signing some guys a couple years ago. And you thought, well, they've got some pieces, but, they don't really have enough to have a good team. And then they've just kind of kept adding the last few years, and it paid off.
Oh, that pitching they signed helped.
Yeah, and then the Nuggets with Jokic, and they finally got some help around him, and it paid off there too. And we found out about them winning on the bus tour. We were heading somewhere at night, and a couple from Colorado had it on their radio or on their phone, and they screamed out, "The Nuggets just won the championship!" So that's kind of how we found out because we were watching it on your phone. And we were a little bit behind what they had. So that's sports story number 6, 2 first-time major sports champions.
Yes, that was after Fenway when we got poured on.
Yes.
Number 5, Fairleigh Dickinson University. In the March Madness tournament, they upset number 1 seed Purdue.
And Zach Edey.
Yes.
Player of the year.
Player of the year. So
7'4", 7'5", big monster.
I remember because there's a lot of didn't they win by like 4 or 5? It was closer.
It was 63-58.
Okay, so yeah, 5. So very closer game. UMBC did a few years ago. They kind of kicked the poo out of Virginia in that game.
Yeah, it was Baltimore, Maryland County. I remember they had a weird name.
The Golden Retrievers.
And they beat Virginia in 2018.
Yeah, they were up by like 20 at one point too.
Oh yeah,
so
it was a runaway.
That was crazy. So we always just like you said about you don't really like the root for the dynasty, you like the root for the underdogs. Everyone likes to see the 16 seed beat the number 1, especially because they're in the Big Ten too. We don't like those damn Big Ten schools.
Well, people that like their brackets don't like to see that.
Well, I mean, if you think you're going to win that, I mean, what are the odds? 1 in 15 billion or something stupid like that. So, yeah. But shout out the underdogs. We like the underdogs.
Yeah.
The Golden Retrievers.
There you go.
What's Fairleigh Dickinson? Do you know?
I don't. I don't even know where they're located. Do you?
No. Well, this looks like something I'll look up.
Nathan goes to Google.
Why you do number 4?
Number 4, expansion of women's sports. 92,003 people filled a football stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska for a volleyball match against Omaha University. And it set an all-time attendance record for any female, or let's say women's sporting event in the history of the world in little Lincoln, Nebraska. And in conjunction to that, we want to mention the LSU Iowa Ladies Championship Basketball, NCAA Championship Basketball game, which featured Angela Reese and Caitlin Clark going at it. So just big strides for women's sports this last year, and these two events really led the way for the women and what have you. And it's just incredible to see that many people show up to watch a volleyball match, and they brought back many of the sports icons. Not just Nebraska players, but volleyball players, in general, like Kerry Walsh and people like that just were there, and just had a lot of impact, even on other teams in the Big Ten, other teams around the country who just would remark about how incredible it was and what a benefit it was for women's sports, let alone volleyball. So story number 4 on our list.
And I will add in conjunction to that, I was looking at the top photos of the year, and they had Angel Reese doing the finger thing.
Yeah.
And I can say I supported history because I was at that volleyball game.
There you go.
Nebraska bias.
You and your sisters, you were the 3.
And Mom.
Oh, and she was.
My mother was there as well.
She was 91,999.
Yes, she was. And then Fairleigh Dickinson did the Knights.
The Knights.
I was going to guess that just because they seemed like they'd have a generic name. And they were located in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Oh, Hackensack. Okay.
So they played at the Rothman Center.
Up there near Carlos Bakery.
Sure, shout out to Carlos. Yeah. All right. Number 3, we talked about this like a week or so ago. Shohei Ohtani's gigantic, big old contract. So massive. Biggest North American sports deal in history.
North of $700 million.
Yes. So, and he's going to be getting paid $2 million a year until he gets to $68 million a year after he's done playing for him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. But I mean, he's a top 5 player at hitting and pitching, so you can understand why he gets that gigantic deal.
International superstar.
So yes, he's
here in Japan.
So Dodgers already big enough. Now they got all those guys. So
yeah, they just signed what is it, Yamamoto,
and then they just got Tyler Glass now too.
Yeah, in a trade. Yep.
So I was going to just save that for a nugget.
Oh, sorry,
but that's okay.
Doo-doo.
We'll just throw it out now. So
whoop.
Yeah. So we'll see. And they're breaking the salary cap in baseball. That's already broken.
Yep.
So.
All right, number 2, LeBron James breaks the all-time scoring record in the NBA, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by scoring his 38,388th point. So that's 38388. And he did this in February, and they're still playing. So he's just piling on that record, and it's going up and up and up and up. And it'll be a long time before somebody comes along. LeBron is just a different guy. He's able to handle. He's 6'8". He's built, like a brick shit house, as they say. He's like 240, 250, and he can withstand the pounding, under the boards, and he's fairly good from outside shooting, and he's got a decent shot, and he's very, very strong on the defensive end. So props to LeBron because that was a record that stood for many, many, many years and probably will stand now for many, many more. Exactly. And I know you're more the NBA correspondent here at Fast Intention, so I'm sure you have something to say about it.
And LeBron, King James, the chosen one. Yeah, just shout out LeBron. I mean, he's ridiculous what he's still doing. Definitely going to play next year because his plan is he wants to play with his son. So his son will be draft eligible.
Who just bounced back from a heart condition.
That was also, I saw on a list of top stories of the year. So shout out Bronny James. I think he did check in for USC.
Yeah.
So he's playing. I don't know how coveted he's going to be in the draft, if he is. Because no offense to him, he's never going to fill LeBron's shoes, unfortunately, and he'll probably always have that over him. But
sure.
You just wish to see him have success in the NBA. And then LeBron said, I've done everything. I don't need money or nothing. I can just go play with whoever I want to.
That's right.
So
before we get to our number one, let's go through our honorable mentions.
Okay, I was trying to figure out what that said. Let's see here, because I didn't really write them down.
Well, I'll start.
Okay, please.
Ryan Reynolds was co-owned Wrexham AFC, and he led him to promotion in the English Premier League levels. They're up to level 2 after a 15-year hiatus. So props to them, and they're only 3 levels below the Premier League.
Ooh. Oh, I have an honorable mention. I want to shout out the Vegas Golden Knights. They won their first Stanley Cup this year, and this is only like their 6th season. The first year as an expansion team, they even made the Stanley Cup final. So what they're doing is kind of ridiculous I think, especially because those teams usually come in, they're very, very bad. So,
and the only reason we didn't add them in at number 6 is just because the hockey is just not as mainstream as the other 2 sports.
Yes, and plus I don't really know a whole lot about hockey, so I can't really say much.
Next honorable mention, we expounded on it pretty much last episode, was undefeated Florida State getting left out of the CFP playoff matchups.
Yeah, we already talked about that enough.
Mm-hmm.
I had Brittany Griner's press conference coming back from Russia after she was there. So just a happy story to see her be able to come back and play NBA after she was wrongfully detained. So
Deion Sanders overhauls Colorado Buffalo program, brings in all new players, transfers, and jettisons many of the players that were left behind from the old regime. And they finished with 4. They go 3-9, 4-8,
4 and something. I think
4-8 record.
After they were 3-0.
Yep, but he's at it again. Got some good transfers out of the portal and landed the number one. Well, the number one player committed to his program. I don't think he's signed yet, but the number one player in the country, a big tackle, had committed to his program. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Deion's definitely got something cooking there, and it'll be interesting to see the results of it and what other programs come calling if he has success there.
Shadur still got his Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I had.
Okay. And then we had, I'd say we have to mention that the PGA Tour ended up partnering with Live Golf, even though they had tried to fight it for many, many months. But it just turned out that the Saudi Live Golf program just had way more money, and PGA just couldn't hold up financially. And, to the dismay of many of the PGA followers and Tiger and Rory, and I believe Tiger and Rory kind of started their own side league that they're trying to get going. So, and they have many events scheduled in 2024. So we'll see how that goes. And then we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Taylor and Travis Kelce's relationship. It just pretty much put in our faces every week. Whenever Taylor makes it to a game, she's front page news, and she's on the camera. And to her defense, as she said, she goes, I'm just up there in the booth. I don't know when they're taking pictures of me or putting me on TV, but she's popular enough that when Al Michaels said the sideshow shouldn't be the main show, referring to her, they took him off all the broadcasts for the rest of the year. So it shows you kind of the importance that she's bringing, because the NFL covets that viewership, in a new group of people watching the games, and that's what she brings. So her Swifties. So that's all our honorable mentions. So, Nathan, what was our number one sports story of 2023?
Well, it's kind of a sad one, but I guess it has a good ending. Damar Hamlin in January suffered that cardiac arrest against the Bengals on Monday Night Football. It was a very scary situation because I don't think really anyone knew how to react. Was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman? I think they were doing Monday Night Football then with ESPN, but they did a good job handling it, keeping everyone informed. And it was just scary because you could tell. Obviously the players were shook up. Everyone was. They didn't even play the rest of the game just because the man's health was most important. And then it was just miraculous he was able to come back so soon. I think he was at the ESPYs, and then he was playing football this year for him. He got activated in October, so just super scary. We wished him the best of luck, and gladly he's healthy. He's able to be back on the football field.
Yeah, thanks to a myriad of medical personnel, not only from the Buffalo Bill organization, but from the Cincinnati Bengals organization and the people at the hospital. And like you said, not only has he been able to come back, and be healthy, he's been able to return to the football field. So just an incredible story there. And do you remember where you were when it happened?
Yeah, I was at my friend Nick's house because all my friends were in town. We were eating like fish or something, and I just had the game on. Oh no, I think I saw it all on Twitter, and so I turned the game on to see what was going on. So,
well, I didn't see it. I knew the game was happening, but I was at Barb's, and we were getting ready for her Christmas party, work Christmas party, and she had a saran wrap ball. She had this huge saran wrap ball, so we were wrapping this thing up and trying to tighten it and heat seal it with the hairdryer. So that was pretty much took all our focus because it took us several hours. And then I remember Patrick, my half brother, texted me and said, "Did you see what happened in the game?" And I was like, "No." And so then I turned it on, and I kind of missed all the major, part of it. But they talked about it, and the game had been canceled and what have you. So, but yeah, like you said, good ending to the story where he's back and playing. And props to him because he really used his situation to help other people, and put a spotlight on the healthcare profession and medical personnel and paramedics and what have you,
mm-hmm.
And he made something good out of a bad situation, let alone him coming back healthy and playing again, or being active, So
mm-hmm.
yeah, just that was an easy choice for me for the number one story of the year. So
yeah, so. Shout out to Mar Hamlin.
Yeah.
And all the medical personnel that helped him. Literally, brought him back to life on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary.
Definitely.
So, well, that didn't take too long. So, do we have any other topics we want to discuss, or we just want to do, some nuggets? We're doing a quick one to end the year.
Did you want to review any of the games from? I know you've been liking to talk about a few of the games from last weekend. I was really surprised by the Steelers' performance with Mason Rudolph under center, and more points they've scored since 2021. And just he got some good protection, and he wasn't afraid to try to get the ball down the field, where Kenny and Mitch had just kind of been dinking and dunking or throwing fly patterns down the sideline. And Mason was able to get some protection, and use the whole field and use all his players. And it looked like the offense was a little more creative with their play calling, so I was really excited about that, and we'll see if it continues.
Yeah, we can't talk about some games because let's go through the list here. What happened this week? Bills beat the Chargers. I don't really care about that because they had Easton Stick starting. Shout out Easton Stick.
Yeah, from Omaha.
Yeah, he went to Creighton Prep, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they kicked a shit ton of field goals. The Chargers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They kicked 5 field goals that game. Let's go down the list here. Oh, the Browns, they beat the Texans 36-22, even though C.J. Stroud's been hurt. I think they say he may get cleared this week to come back.
Yeah, concussion protocol.
But how about Joe Flacco? You said that one time, he was just sitting on his couch. He came in, and he threw 265 yards to Amari Cooper. And I was playing Amari Cooper in one of my fantasy leagues, damn it.
He's already better than Mr. Trubisky.
Poor Mitchell Trubisky, leave him alone.
He sucks.
Right. They always, poor Bears, they missed on Patrick Mahomes. They drafted Mitchell Trubisky. And now they got Justin Fields, too. He's not 100% the best, but I don't mind Justin Fields. I think he gets a bad rap. Lions clinched their first division title since 1993, I believe. Because Dan Campbell said, it's been 30 years. And then he had all the old timers come up, the guys who've been on the Lions for a long time, and he gave them all a shout out for sticking with it and bringing me back to the city.
Nice.
And they keep showing the clip of him during his press conference at the beginning. Remember what he said? If it's going to take us one hit to get knocked down, we're going to bite your kneecap off, and then it's going to take us 2 hits, and it will take your other kneecap, and then it would be 3 hits to knock us back down, and then we'll just take another chunk out of you. And everyone was like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? The Lions, who the hell did they hire? This was a big mistake. And now look at Dan Campbell. He got that whole team fired up, and they got a playoff spot. So and I think they could do some damage, especially because the end of that NFC is very bad.
Well, I got a big test this weekend with the Cowboys.
That's true. But the Cowboys also haven't looked too good. The Dolphins, they beat them 22-20. And the whole thing about the Dolphins was, they don't really play good against the good teams, blah, 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 blah. Can you trust Tua? Well, they played the Jets defense that's like top 5 in the league. Or I think they're number 1, actually. They beat them 30-0, and then they just beat the Cowboys defense 22-20. So Dak Prescott's had a great year, MVP conversation. But I feel bad because, unfortunately, he always gets in those conversations like, well, he can't be the guy, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, as much as I hate to see the Cowboys succeed because it's the Cowboys, you always kind of feel bad for Dak Prescott because he seems like a nice guy. So, and now that 30-0 game, that was also without Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
And then the Bills are coming back. They're really struggling to start the year, and they've won a crap ton in a row.
What's going on in Denver? Apparently, they're going to bench Russell Wilson and then probably end up releasing him after the season. What's going on there?
Oh, yeah. They just said to start Jared Stidham because it's the best chance for them to win, is what Sean Payton said.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I think RG3 was online saying that Sean Payton hasn't liked him from the start, hasn't treated him well at all. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to stop kissing babies, blah, blah. Remember when he said that? Yeah. You got to stop being the guy that kisses babies and plays well. Mm. So I think maybe there's I don't know if there's a conflict there at all. Or anything. But yet, we were just giving them praise for a long time. They were 0-5, 0-6, and they came back and they've just been playing well, being good teams. Now they're struggling again. They had a terrible game against the Patriots. Even my friend Brandon at work, he doesn't watch football at all. He's like, man, that Russell Wilson, he's really bad, and I don't know what the hell he's doing. So, unfortunately, they gave all that stuff for him, and it just never worked in Denver. So, kind of sad to see because the way it's with Seattle, I know they had that really good defense that kind of helped them, but it always seemed like Russell Wilson was kind of a top 5 quarterback, kind of talent over there in his prime. So that's weird. Then Tommy Cutlet's got benched too for Tyrod Taylor, and then someone else just got benched. I can't think of who it was. I think someone else got benched. Oh, no. Maybe I'm confused, but anyways,
maybe
I get confused a lot. So yeah. The Packers almost lost to the Panthers. They tried to clock the ball with like a second left. Like 19 seconds, they got 2 30-yard passes, and they just didn't spike the ball in time. Otherwise, I would have went to overtime. So, but that's enough bitching about that. I do want to say, though, sorry, I'm just blabbering now. Did you see the Patriots game, the field goal that hit the post and it sounded like a bomb went off?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
I think it hit a microphone that's like on the post.
Oh, okay.
So when it bounced up, it went, and people were like, what the hell? And it just went all over the internet. It was kind of funny. It just sounded, because normally it's like a dong, but this was like, it was like a nuke went off. So.
Well, I was fortunate to be able to make the finals in my work league in fantasy. And my opponent is actually sitting across the table from me.
Let's go!
So Nathan doesn't like to lose to me, let alone if he would lose to me in the finals of the league. I'm not saying he will, because he's got good matchups. And my matchups this week aren't the best, but yeah, if I would beat Nathan in the finals, he would really be pissed. More so than when I normally beat him.
Well, I would just be pissed at losing the finals anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well, I lost in the first round of playoffs in one league. I lost in the second round of playoffs in one league. Now I'm in the finals of the other league. Yeah. So.
Well, at least one of us has a chance to win, so it'll be kept in the family. So
we'll both get money.
Yes, that's true.
So I think Zach Wilson was the other one that got benched.
Oh, well.
Again. So
not surprising.
I think that's what I was thinking.
So, okay. Well, this is our final episode of 2023. We thank you guys for listening throughout the year. Nathan has his hand up. He wants to tell us tell you guys where you can find us on all the socials. Go ahead, Nathan.
Are we wrapping up?
Getting close.
Okay. I want to mention something.
Oh, okay.
Do we have nuggets or anything?
I thought we kind of didn't have nuggets.
Okay, well, let me just say these things real quick. This isn't nuggets.
Well, you're going to ramble some more, is what you're saying?
Yes, real quick.
Okay.
Because
okay.
I want to message this.
Okay.
Dylan Raiola, woo! We got him, a 5-star quarterback, top prospect in the modern era for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Woo, baby.
Number 8 overall player in rankings, the highest ranked player to ever commit to Nebraska.
Yeah, it was kind of 2 weeks ago, but we haven't recorded.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention this last podcast. We didn't do it. Nebraska volleyball. They made it to the finals. Woo, shout them out, but they got the butts kicked. They didn't play too well.
Yeah, but Texas was a buzzsaw. Texas came in hot, knocked off Wisconsin, who we thought Nebraska was going to have to face.
Yeah.
And sometimes a team just gets hot at a certain time and gets on a roll, and Texas was that team.
Well, Nebraska didn't play well, but they're super young. They have no seniors, so hopefully they'll learn from this. They all looked upset, but they had a video of all the fans greeting them back, and they're all crying. Yeah. It was nice. And then Detroit Pistons set the record for most straight losses in the NBA season.
Futility.
They lost 27 in a row. And now they got, you know who they play next? The Boston Celtics. Yeah. I said, this will be the game they win. It goes my team.
Probably.
So, okay, that's all I wanted to mention.
All right, so while you're rambling, where can they find us on the socials, Nathan?
Oh, of course. They can find us on Twitter at FIntentionspod.
Yes.
And we'll be able to find us at a Facebook page fairly soon.
Yes.
Also coming in 2024.
Yes.
But also coming in 2024 will be video.
Ooh.
This is the last episode with just audio. So you can watch my fat ass ramble and struggle to figure out what I'm trying to say.
And you can watch me roll my eyes at him.
And I can watch me roll my eyes at you.
Oh, hey, come up with your own thing.
Cut me off. And then, but anyways,
When I do what?
Nothing. So you can see that on YouTube. You can watch this in video. Otherwise, if you
please subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. We've been at 33 subscribers for like 20 years now. And then, but if you do like to listen to us on audio, you can listen to us on Spotify. I think we're on Google Podcasts. I don't remember where we are anymore. We're on like Amazon Podcast, not Apple. Everything but Apple, pretty much.
Yep.
So you can go on there, leave us a comment. If you hate me rambling, say, Nathan, stop fucking rambling. I'll be like, okay, I'll try my best. Or if you say on the YouTube video, you say, Nathan, you look really good. You should wear that shirt more often. I'll be like, sure, no problem.
You look buff.
So, but if you have any feedback or anything, please let us know.
Yeah.
But on the podcast website, you can rate us 5 stars too, and it'll help out a lot. Give us more than 5 listeners, hopefully. So we got a lot of sports to talk about. We just want to share it with the world. So, but we need to share it with you guys first so you can spread the word.
Yep. Tell all your friends and family about us.
Yeah. Your neighbors' dogs.
Yeah.
Milkman.
So, thanks again for listening this year. And like I said, we appreciate it. And we hope you all have a happy and prosperous new year.
Leave a comment what shirt you want me to wear.